Welcome to Total Fitheads.
Serious fitness for not so serious people.
Max just got a scale. He's tracking all of a sudden.
Guess who's back on the scale?
You know, I just came across... Sorry, answer is Max. I just came across this quote that I wrote down a long time ago, and I looked back at my former self and was like, I'm glad you wrote that down. Of course you did. This is great. I almost forgot it.
How long ago was this?
Like 2 days ago I thought of it.
Oh.
Or I came across it.
Yeah, but when did you write it down?
I don't know,
Were you
maybe
like
a year
10?
ago.
Were you?
No,
Okay.
it's
So
not
it's
that
really
long
recent.
It was... I want to get it perfect.
It didn't start with ha. Ha. Listen to this,
Ellipses.
future Allie.
Ladies and gentlemen. What if you're not tracking, your gains are just a guess. That's not right. It was definitely better than that. It was not gains. Oh, okay, if you're not tracking, your gains are just your opinion. Boom!
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
I like it for a million reasons.
Let's start with one.
One is you're right. Two is you wrote it down. That's hilarious.
Thanks.
Did you write it like in a tweet? Did
It's
you
an
just write
Evernote.
it in a...
Of course, it's an Evernote.
Have you ever espoused your love for Evernote?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
It comes up in lots of videos, but I don't think specifically... I feel like we've even talked about it.
We've talked about it because I struggle with what note-taking
Right.
strategy platform.
You pick one.
I don't know.
And then you're stuck with it, which
Yeah.
now, whatever, that's fine.
I tell you what, no offense to Evernote, what I've been liking a lot recently, pathetically, is just notes on my
Yeah,
my
I'm
phone.
offended. Fully offended.
It transfers to my computer.
So does Evernote! And my parents' computer. And my collaborator's computer. I don't know if you know, but we have synced notes.
Yeah, I know. Wait,
Okay.
you and I?
Yes.
Whoa!
Stop.
That's quite the step, professionally.
Oh, goodness. Oh, by the way, I did not think of that quote. I merely saw it and wrote it down.
Oh, you didn't even think of it?
No!
I thought
What?
you made it up.
I hope the
Oh,
drop-off on
that's
this
so
video is so quick that people think that was me.
I know.
No, and it sucks that I don't even know to whom to attribute it.
Bill Watterson.
Yeah. Do you know who that is?
I do.
Okay.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Do you?
Let us know in the comments. They're going to Google it. It's the Calvin Hobbs illustrator, which,
Yeah.
by the way, big fan.
Genius. Big fan.
Smart dude. He Seinfeld himself.
Mm-hmm. Seinfelded.
Yes.
Calvin Hobbs is one of my favorite comics growing up. I think there's a lot of knowledge there.
Sure. Sure.
I feel like I see a lot of people posting their Calvin and Hobbes panels on Instagram or whatever, and I'm like, oh, you look Calvin and Hobbes? And they're like, who?
Oh, no.
Somebody did that the other day with the one where they're sledding and they're like, there's a wonderful world to explore or whatever. I was like, oh, that's my favorite one because it's the last panel he ever did and blah, blah, blah.
It was on New Year's?
And the girl was like, what? Who? I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just be over here feeling like a 500-year-old man, you know.
I have every published strip he's ever done in print.
Really?
Yeah.
In paper?
Well, he didn't do any merchandise. He only did books. So I have all of his books, and he's published everything. So.
And he did those like weird, or somehow they did those weird tire flaps on trucks where Calvin's like peeing on something. Have
No,
you seen
he
those?
didn't. That's everyone ripping him off. If you ever see any merch that is that. Oh, you knew that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But that's the only thing famously that
I know,
is like
it's
printed
such a
on
shame.
it. It's a mess.
Because he
the stuff
didn't
is
do
so
merch so that it wasn't, I don't know, he didn't take away from the sanctity of the character. Like my Garfield cat bowl.
good. I know, it's the absolute opposite of Garfield.
Yeah.
Garfield's on
Everything. Which, by the way, that just like fits the brand too, though, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm more of a John. I really identify with John.
Yeah. What was your favorite comic strip in the Sunday Funnies? Did you read the Sunday Funnies?
Yes, all the time.
Yeah.
Calvin
What-
Hobbs.
Calvin Hobbs?
Yeah.
Second?
Foxtrot.
Foxtrot.
Really?
I really liked Foxtrot.
It was so edgy.
I still like it. Yeah, it's really the bad boy of the Sunday Comics page.
I really did not at all identify with Kathy, but now
Now.
I am her demographic.
For
I wake
sure.
up going, chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. Heck! As a kid, it didn't make any sense,
Yeah.
but no.
And every once in a while I can see like the stink lines coming off of me.
Wow.
How did we get there?
By the way, you just glossed over me saying he Seinfelded himself, but what I meant by that, which I imagine nobody knows what I'm saying, is that he stopped his strip in its prime.
Absolute peak.
Yeah, which is so hard to do. Seinfeld obviously did the same thing. Actually, he Seinfelded himself before Seinfeld. I should say he Bill Wattersoned himself.
Seinfeld, Watterson.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. But amazing, because if you don't do that, the peak sure existed, but then people also get to experience you jumping the shark, which is going back to Happy Days, where they started to decline and they had nothing more to do, so they went so absurd. They had the Fonz motorcycle over a shark, and now that's the example of declining and doing your last pathetic hurrah.
And TV historians,
Yes.
cool,
Indeed.
great job by the way, point to that moment as the moment, like everything before that the show was awesome and everything after that the show was on a significant decline.
But how epic that it's a meme before memes that jumping the shark is a thing. If I could have created a show that jumps the shark and we still say that, I mean, it's a little embarrassing. Who is sitting there going like, oh yeah, I invented jumping the shark? It's some like 80-year-old
What poor guy like wrote that scene? I'm
Yeah.
like, this is gonna be awesome, you guys. He'll jump in a motorcycle. He'll jump over a shark.
I mean, it is pretty awesome.
There's another one too. There's the opposite of that too. I'm blanking on it now. If you know it, let me know in the comments below. But there's another sort of mirror moment in another TV show where they were like, oh, this show wasn't that good until this, and then it got really good. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, but so many people say to me, you gotta wait till season 2.
Right. I know. I hate that. I can't stand that at all.
to get through one. But yeah.
I'll get through a couple episodes, but a season? No, I'm not waiting a season for a show to get good.
So when's our reverse shark? It's this episode. That's it.
There's 9 episodes to go.
Fitheads is good from here out.
I tell you what I like about tracking, and I just recently started this actually on a new, I'm on a new workout routine because my building finished their gym finally.
This feels like a physique update. We're finally on to the topic here.
I tracked. I now track in a Google Doc. Sorry.
Gross.
You
You can get that on multiple devices.
Yeah, I think so. In grid format.
Ugh.
Now I've written down the last 2 or 3 rounds of exactly the weight I did, what, and reps of everything that I've done, because I'm doing a couple rounds of a classic Brian bodybuilding
Yeah.
bear brap campaign. I don't know. I was trying to think of another B word.
All right. And how's it going?
And it's interesting because I'm like, oh wow, this feels heavy, and then I look at my notes and I'm like, this was the first one you did, and I'm like, oh yeah, this feels light, this feels great, and then I like definitely push it further than I would have if I hadn't written it down.
Yeah.
And I can also see that I'm like, oh, this is heavy. Oh wait, but I only did 6 of this last time, so I'll do 8 or 10 or whatever, and then it feels okay. Whereas if I didn't know last time, I wouldn't remember, and I wouldn't feel good about only doing 7 of something. Do you know what I mean?
Right, yeah. And I almost feel like I track because I don't trust my body, which is such a crappy thing to say, but...
Can't trust your body.
Because you can push harder. If you know that last week was 8, it's going to be 9 this week.
Right, no matter what.
Which,
you
by the way... Okay, good. Just making sure we're audio going. Good, great. Had a worried moment that we missed all of that magic before.
So not only am I tracking what weight I'm lifting and how many times, I'm also much less strictly tracking my body weight.
Ooh.
I know.
What?
I know. It feels like I have so much PTSD.
Yeah.
From my old body dysmorphia, eating disorder days.
Yeah.
that I look back fondly upon.
And that we're obviously encouraged by the gym choices that you made, or the sport choice.
The sports choices.
Yeah.
But I was telling you before this, what's funny about it is, and we've talked about this a lot, about like the scale's not that important, and don't put a huge emphasis on your pound body weight number, whatever, because it can be misleading. And
especially
I know that
day to day.
Day to day, big time.
Are you weighing yourself day to day?
I do it in the mornings, and so because I can track it a little bit, and then but I also like, if I'm a little lighter or I'm a little heavy, I'm like, oh, okay, whatever, and then I chug a gallon of water, and I'm like, wow, I'm shot up, you know.
Right. So
So it does make a little bit less sense, but it is nice. It is nice to put an actual number on something that you're sort of feeling. It's not. It's sort of like not. You're sort of generally feeling something, and to put an actual number on it feels a lot more concrete. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I know the scale you're using, and it goes with an app, and you can zoom out and not look at day to day, but a much wider trend, which is much more helpful.
Big time.
Otherwise, you know, you had a lot of pasta last night, now you feel like you're completely off track, when really next day you're down more.
Yeah. And it's nice to be able to track it. And it's also nice. What was horrifying was for like 4 or 5 days in a row I was about the same, and then one day I was like pretty low, and the next day I was way above average, and so then my line started looking like an EKG, you know. And
I would not invest in that crypto.
Yeah, I'm out on that one. So it really freaked me out a little bit. But you're right, zooming out helps an unbelievable amount.
Yeah.
Mentally.
Specifically said that pasta thing because I'm carb cycling, and I can tell if I ate a bunch of carbs because I worked out the day before and then refueled, I will be up, and then the next day I'll eat a bunch of fat and I'll be down.
Mm-hmm.
It really follows my diet very closely.
The other thing that's crazy now, and I assume it's sort of on a different scale, is but something that someone like you should remember. Someone like you, meaning a sprightly, tiny human being.
I'm huge. Sure.
Is that, you know, when I was 145 pounds, you know, 3 or 4 pounds was like freaky to me.
Yeah.
And now I'm almost 200 pounds, and so 10 pounds is like, that's where I'm sort of whipping up and down or around.
Yeah.
And so when you get, you know, like a 1 pound to a 100 pound person is way bigger than 1 pound to a 200 pound.
Right,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Like, but still, when you think about stuff, you're like, oh yeah, I lost 5 pounds, or I gained, you know, like those terms can like really sort of tax you mentally a little bit.
Sure.
So when I started doing it now, because I'm 50 pounds heavier than I was in college when I was tracking all this stuff, like I'm fluctuating like 8 or 9 pounds, and I'm like, oh my god, this is crazy, like my body's out of control. And then I'm like, wait a minute, no, I'm just way bigger than I was, and I can drink a gallon more water, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that one, you know, it's I hope. Otherwise I'm wildly unhealthy. And I had no idea.
And I want to be clear in case you didn't know this, that I'm talking about having carbs and weighing more. It's not because I put on weight from eating carbs. It's that the carbs just had me absorbing water, and I'm just more dehydrated a day after having a bunch of fat versus having a bunch of carbs. It's a water thing that I'm talking about.
Big time. Have you, this is a weird one, weigh yourself holding a Gatorade. And then drink the Gatorade and see how much you weigh after like 15 minutes.
Be exactly the same thing.
Not.
What? How?
I don't know.
That's
but it's
not. That can't. That's not science. That's not how the world works. It's physics.
Try it. Prove me wrong.
I will. Here's not a weird one. Do you weigh yourself and then you happen to take a dump before drinking anything that day and weigh yourself again?
Big time.
Obviously.
Big time. And that's a really good feeling too. To
Yeah.
be in the morning, be like, ooh, I'm a little heavy. Oh, but I haven't taken a dump yet, so it's totally fine.
Yeah.
That's probably a 30 pound.
Or to know exactly, because I know your scale goes to the tenths of decimals, how big your dump was.
Yeah. It's pretty, you know, it's a point of pride.
It's significant. Do you ever wake up after having drank and not going to the pizza place afterwards? Oh, never mind. The answer is no. He's never not eaten pizza after drinking.
I have. I did it the other day.
And you're dehydrated.
So slim, so light.
And you're like, look at this. A power hour makes me lose weight. Who knew?
I'm wasting away. I'm barely there.
I'm barely there.
I'm barely there. I'm barely there.
Oh, God, this is great. See, this is our episode. This is when we shoot up. Yeah.
But yeah, it is weird. My other one used to go to a 10th or a 100th of a point percentage decimal point.
Dumb.
It was awful.
Oh no.
The other one, the ones we used in college wrestling to weigh yourself, because you had to weigh yourself before every thing. You'd get on, and there would be 3 dashes. It would load, and then it would go in a wave, and it would go in a wave.
And you're like jumping.
And you go in a wave, and then it would. Boop, there you go. Point blank blank, and you're like, holy moly, this is a nightmare.
You just sit there through those waves.
Oh God, it was
Panic
so
attack.
frustrating, and you like can't even. You're so dehydrated. You just sweated as much as you possibly could. You're like trying to weigh yourself before you, because you need to know how much water you can drink or not drink. God, it's so depressing.
Then you take your underwear off.
Oh, you're just already completely naked. It's just a room of.
For sure.
We're all just hanging around.
What about when you see press conferences where they stand there and they do this? And take photos.
Those are mixed martial arts.
Okay.
Guys.
And that's just at that point you're.
So they that's before they have to stand on the scale and they sort of have to pause. So if you move around, the scale's not going to work right. So they pause, and then they go, he made it, and then they're like, rah, rah, rah.
We should sell a brand of trunks that are as light as possible, so that you don't have to be naked.
Well, what they do is, I don't know if you've ever seen this, but when they, because sometimes if you're really, really close, you do have to get naked in these public.
Is it all for show?
No, it's really not. Like, because it goes to the 10th of a
So
pound.
the one for the public is the real one. They don't do it and then have a public showing.
Well, they really do it, and then they sort of gesture around, all dramatic. But sometimes, if they're really close, they do have to get absolutely naked. So what they'll do is, I don't know if you've seen it, but their friends will hold towels around them and make like a hexagon or whatever. They'll just hold up.
You just trust your friends.
Yeah, and you're like, whoa, here we go. OnlyFans dropping soon, you know.
Oh, get a phone call. Oh, sorry.
But yeah, so it looks like they're in. I don't know. It's sort of hard to describe. It looks like saloon doors, I guess.
Yeah,
you know
sure.
what I mean?
Just come out swinging.
Yeah, exactly. Just swinging.
All right. So, what is the progress or non-progress you've seen, or are you just mostly getting a baseline right now?
Well, it feels good to start tracking again. It felt good to, like, I got on the scale and I was like, wow, I really don't feel good. And then I ate salads for like 3 days straight, and then that helped me. Or I ate like a ton more chicken. You know what I mean?
So did you see a difference based on your actions?
But it also created an urgency in my brain to be like, hey man, I know you want a sub, but you were almost 200 pounds the other day. That's probably a little too heavy for you.
You're going to weigh yourself
And
tomorrow.
I'm like, all right, yeah, okay. So it definitely, it does, it gets you thinking about it. It helps you, it helps motivate you, or like it does give you, I know I said this oddly, and I've sort of preached against it for a long time, but it does give you that sense of like, hey man, there was a specific number that you were at, and we can't be there.
Sure.
You know? So like really, really focus on it, and it gives you a touchstone, versus where you're like, I don't know, I'm feeling a little heavy, but it's probably not that bad.
I'll get that sub.
Yeah, I guess I'll just do whatever I want. It definitely, it's a nice sort of, I don't know, not carrot, but stick, I guess? Is that the right way to say it?
Stick? Oh, right. You're chasing you're the donkey,
yeah.
going after the carrot, and you'll never get it. It's a sad analogy.
Well, it's a perceived reward that you're working towards versus the
it.
punishment that you're running away from.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, this seems like everything we talk about, that bell-shaped curve where it is helpful to a point and you can't just go overboard or underboard and not even track it all.
Waterboard.
Hoverboard. Oh no. I'm bored.
But you track every
I know. I'm obviously overboard.
Right? Yeah, I would say I'm under, you're over.
Yeah.
And now I'm sort of meeting.
Yeah. I'm coming back. What did I stop tracking recently? There's got to be something. Oh, I did not wear my Apple Watch here. I was like, screw it.
I'll live a little.
Apple doesn't need to know that I biked to my studio.
Whoa, crazy.
Yeah. I'm also not wearing it because now I'm terrified of 5G and it's right on my wrist. That's so dumb.
That's really dumb.
I'm getting a Faraday cage. Shuh. Quick question that I wanted to go back to. Did you make a graph when you were in high school? Because there wasn't apps like that.
I didn't need a graph. I just needed to be under something.
Okay.
So it was so short. The time periods were so short because you had to essentially we had to weigh in twice a week. Okay. So the only time you'd need to track is like before season to get down to a certain weight. In season, you just need to know, okay, I'm under or I'm over, but I can get down. I can get down those 3, 4, 5 pounds in a couple of days. Then that's no problem. So typically, I had to be around 3 pounds of my weigh-in, and I knew that, you know, if I just eat real light or nothing and have a nice practice and don't drink any water or anything, take a shower, go to bed, I'll float a pound or 2 or half a pound or whatever overnight, and then I'll weigh in the morning, and then I'm good. So I wouldn't track anything. I would just know that I'm within shooting distance of it.
This is why you think water fasts are so stupid, because you've performed during a water fast and it's terrible.
It's the stupidest thing in the world. I think water fasts are dumb. Wow. And I hate them, and I hate everyone that's ever done one, including myself.
Dumb.
Yeah, exactly. I hate them so much, and I know that my performance, my physical and mental performance, suffers if you don't have water.
Yeah.
And so I think when people do it on purpose, it's the stupidest thing in the world.
And I was going to say, well, you just haven't adapted, but you did it so much. Yeah, sure. Yeah, there's a reason why I haven't just dove in and done that in a video like I test everything out.
I mean, you could. I wouldn't call you a dumb.
Are you sure?
For trying it, but I've tried it 100, 200 times, and this would be more, sucks, you know. And it's, I don't know. It made me feel like, wow, if only I had some water, this would be a really cool experience or a really cool physical mental test or whatever. But I don't, so this is dumb. It's like driving without wheels. You know, you're like, this is too hard.
Driving without wheels.
It's so dumb.
You know, it's too hard.
There's gravity, obviously. You can go down a hill.
I mean, yeah. But there's sparks everywhere. What the?
It is dumb.
Okay. All right.
But try it. But definitely try it. Give it a shot.
I want to present the opposite, which I just learned. Man, this is dumb. I was gonna do a video on this, and they didn't let me at Body Spec. Not to badmouth them, it's actually for health reasons that they wouldn't let me scan twice in one day.
Why?
I mean, it's radiation, so they just need a doctor's slip. They said we didn't used to do this, but so many people were doing fitness tests and comparing. Like,
the liberal media.
So they said I needed a doctor to write it, which then I thought, well, my uncle's an eye doctor. I could definitely get him to text me.
Just find a PhD or
But it's not worth it.
A doctorate.
I guess I could just talk through it here. But what I was going to do is go in my usual dehydrated self, which is what I do, because you're supposed to test similarly. Oh, right. Let me tell you what Body Spec is. A DEXA scan, which is a way more complex way of putting yourself on a scale. So they tell you bone density, body fat, muscle mass, interior body fat, visceral fat, which is an indicator of diabetes and a lot of metabolic issues. What else?
Hydration?
What's that? Hydration.
Yeah.
No. Do they?
I don't know.
No, I don't think they do hydration, because this is what I'm getting at. So I was going to go in my usual dehydrated because I want to weigh as little as possible when I get on a scale, right? And I did some research because I was disappointed with my progress this last time. I told you I gained 3 pounds of fat, and this was on a bulk, so I was thinking I was gaining weight. I knew I would, but I was thinking it was muscle, and I got on there, and it was only fat. Only fat. I've been cutting since then. But there was something different because I usually bike there. But I was so late and it was so hot that day, I sweat so much trying to get there in time.
Oh, you still biked?
You still biked.
Yeah.
This was not the most recent time. This was the previous time when I got my crap reading. And dehydrated myself basically, and I'm like, well, this is going to be a great reading. I weigh so little. And then I had gained 0 muscle. Did some research, and whatever isn't measured as body fat, this is how the machine works. It knows your body fat, and then it counts everything else as muscle.
What about bones and organs?
Okay, yeah, body fat, bones, and then whatever's left over gets packed into muscle, which I thought whatever's left over would get packed into fat, right? If I was super hydrated, that would be added to the fat, and so dehydrating myself would make me have a lower fat reading, but it makes you have a lower muscle reading. So, if you're trying to gain the system, if you're ever, I don't know, on Biggest Loser and getting a DEXA scan, chug a ton of water, because it will show that you gained more muscle. And that's also why you should just have the same circumstances every time you scan. So I'm thinking I did gain at least some muscle in my bulk, but I sweated all out, and it was a different circumstance than had I previously scanned.
Does muscle hold water? I thought muscle did and fat does not.
Maybe that's it.
I don't know if that's like an old wives' tale, like your stomach shrinking or whatever.
I don't know.
Or a watermelon seed growing a watermelon.
But that would mean then people that are obese wouldn't ever feel bloated.
I think they would.
With low muscle mass.
Their muscle. I don't know. I feel like we
Science.
need somebody smarter on that.
Science. Yes, we get somebody smarter on that. So this time I went and I wanted to. I paid for 2 scans to scan and then chug a ton of water and then scan again and see how much my muscle mass went up.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Right.
But they wouldn't let you do it.
No.
Bummer.
They said no, but they also said, yeah, your numbers may fluctuate a little, but you should always scan under the same conditions. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm trying to make a video here.
I know I shouldn't eat 100 pieces of sushi. I'm trying to make a video. Boom.
For the vine. So there, that video will never come out, but the idea is that I'm surprised to learn that being as dehydrated as possible for your DEXA scan will actually make you less successful on muscle gain.
I thought there was something where muscle holds water and fat just sort of sits there. Although now I'm not.
That would line up.
It does that lines up with your story, but again, I'm not sure if that's an old wives' tale or just something, high school wrestling people say to each other.
Bones hold water.
The other funny one was we had this kid on my team who was so jacked, but he was a tiny little head. And so he was always like 5 or 10 pounds lighter than he looked. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's because he got that little pinhead up there. And he'd be like, what? What are you talking about? I'm like, nothing.
Yeah, I always say that about myself, that I have a big head. I'm not actually tiny or fit. It's just like comparatively.
I have the head of a much larger person.
Which I've been thinking about hard recently because I need to figure out what the volume of my head is. I'm going to cast it in candy corn.
Ooh,
as a teaser
whoa.
for my main channel.
Heads up.
Pun! Love it.
Can't you do, can't you weigh it? I don't know.
Weigh my own head? Wasn't it 8
do it?
pounds? That's from the Tom Cruise movie.
Well,
with
that's the
kid.
average.
Yeah. Oh no, well obviously mine's double that. I'm
55.
a genius.
So dense.
Dense! All those wrinkles, whatever.
Anyway.
Anyway, so the update now. We heard about my previous scan where I gained fat, started cutting. I lost weight, of course, because I'm eating less.
Mm-hmm.
If you care to know. Oh wait, this is a physique update. I'm talking through all of this. Okay, I was bulking at 2,200 calories for a significant amount of time. Months. Basically all of COVID. Yeah. Wait, what does that even mean? Since the first lockdown, I started bumping up.
It's over a year.
Yeah.
That's a year and a half?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say a year. This is precise. So I'm sitting at 2,200. I know that I've gained weight. I'm thinking it's... No, wait, sorry. Got that scan and then started cutting. And I moved down to 1,800. So this was like 3 months ago that I started my cut. We talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I moved down to 1,800. Actually, I think I was at 19. I was like, yeah, I can go harder. went to 1,800, and then 1,600 on days when I don't work out.
Dang.
Which is still so much higher than I was having ever in high school or college. I was like under quad digits. So 1,000 calories or less whenever I was... And I know there are plenty of 5'2" tiny girls out there having that. So 1,600 is a ton still.
Yeah.
At this point, and I'm cutting because my body's just like...
So you still feel... Did you notice anything... How did you feel going from, what did you say, 22?
Yeah.
2,200 calories to 18. Did you feel hungry, not hungry, still overly sated?
Honestly, not a difference.
No difference.
Which also would indicate that my metabolism immediately slowed down. And that I wasn't burning anything, but I was not that hungry. I also attribute that to the fact that I'm sitting down and eating it all at once still.
Oh.
And...
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, right, my usual fasting.
The old nausea technique.
Oh, man. I also, it was basically removing fat. Because once I started adding those calories in to get up to 2,200, because that was a slow process too, basically called reverse dieting. And to get to that point, I was adding in more fat, not necessarily carbs. Because I'm looking at my glucose and I'm like, I don't want to spike, I don't need more carbohydrates, so I just need more energy, and I'm already hitting my protein goal. So then it just meant taking that fat out, which means I'm not chugging olive oil anymore. And maybe it's an egg white instead of... Or maybe it's 1 egg white and 3 eggs instead of 4 eggs. You know what I mean? So I didn't notice the difference.
Right.
Because what I took out was what I'd already, packed on.
How long did it take you to get up to 2,200?
That was a slow process, too. I was at 1,800, definitely, and that was, my maintenance. And I was like, I'm going to train my body to burn more, which is what a reverse diet is. And I did. And I got to 2,100. Got a scan, that was even previous to all of what we're talking about, and I still had lost weight. So then I knew that I wasn't even at maintenance because I was losing weight at 2,100, so I moved up to 22 and finally started gaining weight. So that was an interesting journey. It started to cut, and I had lost 1.5 pounds. Yes, total, which I thought it was more. And 1 pound of it was fat and 0.5 pound was muscle. Which I think is a good ratio.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's really hard to lose all fat, especially people that are dialed in like us. I mean, someone who's just starting can recompose and actually lose fat and gain muscle at the same time. But at this point...
The elusive clean bulk.
Lean gains.
Whatever it's called.
Yeah, I know.
The impossible. I mean, elusive.
So I'm not mad at it. It's called your P ratio. No. When you're bulking, your P ratio is the ratio of fat to muscle that you gain. Which mine was garbage, obviously. It was only fat. So it sucks to go get a scan and be like, oh, look, I lost muscle. But also I'm way leaner. I can see a difference. And I did lose the fat that I wanted to. So...
How do you feel?
Great.
Strong?
Yeah.
Quick?
Well, I just did a weighted pull-up for the first time. And gymnastics are so much easier. When you look, look at me talking like, oh my god, everything's so simple now that I'm 1.5 pounds down.
It is crazy. A pound is what? 1% of your body?
But since then I've still lost more. I want to get another scan. It's only been a week, but now I'm down another.
So what is the radiation?
Oh, they say it's comparative to, super weird, eating one banana. Yeah, I don't know. It's less radiation than you would get on a flight, and it's compared to eating one banana, which I had no idea that I should be scared of bananas and my Apple Watch.
Yeah, what? Bananas are radiating us?
Yeah. Actually, I took a picture of what they had in comparison at the actual scan place, because they show you different levels of radiation, and you get radiated on sleeping next to a partner. That's someone else next to you is also radiation. Bizarre. Hold on, what other examples did they give? But they made it seem super low, which makes me think...
But then why won't they let you do it again?
I don't know. They have a new insurance company where that's what he said. So radiation dose, we have sleeping next to someone is 0.05 whatever that unit of measure is. Sievert.
So, sieverts.
Yeah. Okay. Living within 50 miles of a nuclear power plant, so that's me my entire childhood. Yikes. 0.09. Eating one banana. 0.1.
0.09.
Why is a banana twice as bad as sleeping next to someone?
No, are bananas the worst? I eat bananas all the time. Now I'm freaked out. I'm gonna get banana superpowers.
Oh, the yellow hero. Okay, well, anyway, they act like it's super safe. And I never go through the scans on planes, by the way.
Do you ask for the
Yeah, I opt out.
X-ray? Or the metal detector?
The pat-down.
Oh, the pat-down.
Yeah.
Wait. So you don't... It's not that... Whoosh, whoosh,
I've never done that.
That's the worst.
But I will walk through the X-ray thing because I'm...
Yeah, I'm late.
Yeah. But for sure,
Did I
never
send
done
you?
the rapist scan is basically what it says on there.
I mean, they see you. Have you ever seen what it looks like?
If anything, I would be proud of that and like, hey, can I Instagram it? You want to
A lot of
that
times
out?
what I'll do is
Life
they're like, put your
size.
hands up on the thing, and I'm like... pose real hard.
Love it.
Did I show you that picture? I went to Massachusetts and I got a souvenir for Brittany. It was a candle, and then they were like, "Do you want to gift wrap it?" I was like, "Sure." And then at the airport, when I went through the thing, they pulled my bag aside and they were like, "What's this?" And I'm like, "It's a present for my girlfriend." And they were like, "We gotta open it." And I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, well, it's wrapped. Can I take a photo of it? So like I could show her that I got her a present that was wrapped. And she was like, and I have this hilarious photo of this security lady just being like, and then she opens it and it's a candle. And she's like, yeah, we get a lot of candles. And I'm like, got it. Don't ever fly with a candle. I didn't realize that was the most dangerous thing in the world. But apparently on the X-ray or the bag scanner or something, it looks like a bomb canister.
Dynamite.
Yeah, exactly.
like a comedic cartoon piece of dynamite.
Yeah, but it was like fat and shit. You know, not a lot of time on the. But anyway, so lesson learned.
The fuse is too short. This can't be dynamite.
Yeah, exactly. Don't fly with candles because it looks really bad. And then, so it was gift wrapped. So she had to be like, "I'm sorry, I have to unwrap all of this." And I'm like, "Well, you're gonna wrap it back up?" She's like, "No." And I'm like, "Okay." Cool.
You should have filmed all of this.
Good
honestly.
stuff. I mean, yeah, I don't exactly love filming.
Oh, I do. It'll make people uncomfortable. Oh, TSA.
TSA. I mean, I'm sure I should.
Yeah.
When we got pulled over in Mexico, I filmed the Mexican cop, and then that suddenly we had to. Then we were like in real trouble. He was like really pissed off at that. He didn't like that.
No. Is it because you filmed vertical and he knew that would be crappy?
I'm like, dude, it's for the vlog. Or it's not for the vlog. It's for just for my Snapchat stories. Who cares, bro?
I would be mad at you too.
Yeah, he was not happy.
There was one time a friend of mine, Eric Boulanger, if you're watching, you D-bag. I was visiting him in LA. I hadn't moved here yet, and he took a pack of matches, opened them up so that all of them were out like this, right? Mm-hmm. And then he rubbed them on my arm right before I went to the airport, and he was like, "That's gonna come off as like as like explosive whatever
powder substance."
Yeah. I don't know if that's true.
Did
or
it
not.
work?
I didn't get stopped, but I was so mad at him.
Oh my god, that's awful. But it's also hilarious.
It's super funny. He's hilarious.
And then I'm sure it was just a couple hours of you being like, "Oh no, oh no, oh no."
he also was like, "Yeah, they'll test you and realize it's not anything, but at first you're gonna get stopped." He was
Where
like,
they wipe the paper or something on the thing.
Mm-hmm. It's their hands. They do, and they use the back of your arm, the back of the hands on sensitive areas. Please hold your arms out to the side, ma'am.
All right, cough.
Do you have any? Oh, this is a new thing I've had to respond to. Do you have any devices that I need to be aware of?
And you're like,
I'm
Apple
like,
Watch
actually...
or a ring. What are you in the
No,
mood
I have
for?
this thing
What
in
are you
my
in the
arm.
market for?
Yeah, I open up my trench coat.
What are you looking to try?
There's a whole body scale in there.
A full scale, like a doctor one? Like Mary Poppins style. Can I interest you in a workout bicycle?
Man, I've been looking at this thing lately. Plunge.
I don't know what that
It's
is.
a regular ice bath, and I'm sure it feels just like an ice bath, but it's cheap. You just get a tub and put ice in the tub.
Sure.
But it is hot tub level of purity and ease of use, where it just cools to ice level. Instead of being a hot tub, it's an ice tub. And you get in it and not have to deal with buying ice or filling it up or whatever. It filters itself. You can tell it a temperature. I think they even have one that goes to hot tub and cold tub.
So
But
depending on your mood.
Right.
Depending on who's coming over.
Yeah. You just got the champagne out and you forgot to turn it to hot. You put the champagne in it.
Yeah, they just make.
But I'm like, yeah, I just don't do full-on ice baths because of the barrier to entry. It's such friction. But if I had a tub that it's always there and working and you get in it, I would do it daily.
What's his name was telling me that ice tub is the best hangover cure he's ever had.
Really?
Ever. And I'm like, is it? Because it seems horrible.
Huh. What's his name?
I can't remember. It was, I forget. And it was just one of those tubs, one of those metal tubs, you know? And we just dump in bags and bags of ice.
Right.
And then, what's crazy about those two is that, like, one person gets in, and then the next guy gets in, and it's significantly warmer.
Yeah,
And
it'll
then
go
the
like
third
that.
guy gets in. I'm like, we put in 19 bags of ice in this, you know what I mean? It's freezing. And I guess I underestimated how warm a human being can be.
Precisely 98.6 degrees.
Well, how much
Yes.
heat they can put out.
Especially you and your 200
the
pounds.
Matrix, yeah. I've never been 200 pounds. This morning I was 199.8. So.
Ooh, okay, well, did we dump or did we
Let's
not?
throw that out there. And I'm afraid to weigh myself again. Because I've been drinking a lot of water. Probably at 210 right now.
So the day, do you remember Croce's birthday pre-COVID where we got drunk on New Year's and she rented that place?
Yes, that was awesome.
I'm only bringing that up because he knows how stupid drunk we got.
10.
The next day, I jumped into the Pacific.
Oh!
On
Did you fall?
January 1st. It was an accident. What were you doing in the middle of the Pacific that you fell in?
Oh, look at that. It's a fish. Ah!
I bring this up because I was very hungover.
It worked?
Okay. No. I can't even. I was so panicked because I had to swim out to the whatever. It was
You did a plunge, didn't you?
And it wasn't just a plunge because the plunge was for the kids. You're not going to do the plunge. I asked about that. They're like, you're a grown, fit adult. You're going to swim very far. Which I did, and that was probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I thought for sure that was the end of me.
Yeah.
And I'm not one to exaggerate.
Did you die?
I did not die, no.
Well, I'm pretty sure you might have. Just
Alright, this would be what my heaven was like. I had no idea I was going to heaven, that's nice. So, on the way there, God, there was a lifeguard, and I was like,
Where was it, Santa
You're
Monica?
going to get paid for your good work today, sir. Yeah, Santa Monica. And I came out so panicked, so like gasping for breath. And I take cold showers. I work on breath pacing and just dealing with that and letting my body handle it. But this was so much worse than obviously turning it all the way cold in LA doesn't go as cold as Pittsburgh even. But it's whole body all the way through your head just immediately. And the act of swimming is taking all your breath. It was shock. My whole body was just shocked. And I freestyled there, floated on my back, like backstroke to get back because I was that concerned about my breathing. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. The way back, I was still, like, I'd reached the peak and downhill in terms of getting there, but it was going uphill in terms of me thinking I was going to die.
Your horror was going uphill.
Yeah. And it wasn't even till well past I could touch the ground that I was okay. And then just the next hour was this not even a good adrenaline panic high, just a regular old extreme panic bad.
It's just awful.
So my body, I think, gave up on ever having a hangover at that point, and it was just survival mode. I have no idea what happened.
I'm glad you survived.
Mm-hmm.
For any of you guys watching or listening or whatever, the scary thing about cold water like that is your body, you like forget to breathe. So did you remember to breathe?
Knew. I'm there thinking of
you
in my brain going, obviously you need to remember to breathe.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about this, and I work on breathing pacing when I cold showers, but it was just so much, especially with the athletic activity, which I've never done. After I got out, I was like, I am never doing this again. That is the last time I will ever do that. And I can hear myself and see myself saying that then, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to do it this year again. Ah!
That's so dumb. That is so dumb. But cool. Kudos.
The only way to get better, that was so far outside my comfort zone, which sucks because I was working on making that my comfort zone, right? I was actively trying to get to that point so that wasn't such a freaking shock, and it still was. And the only way to get that to stop being such a freaking shock is to do it more, I guess. And
or
maybe once a year yeah. You're my mom. She's like, why don't you just stay in your comfort zone?
Why do we need to be
are you
a good swimmer?
Yeah. I was a lifeguard. Well, I got my certification, but I never actually lifeguarded ever. Whatever.
But
Yeah. I mean, I took swimming lessons as a kid. For a while there, I was swimming, like, what's the length of an Ironman? Just the swim part? I would do that, like, once a week.
For kicks?
Pun! Yeah, because
we did an alarm.
It was right after my first marathon. Right after my first marathon, I had injured my hamstring, but I was still doing that amount of cardio, but I didn't want to just stop, so I started swimming, and so it was a lot. It was a lot of swimming.
How was your body looking? Your swimmer's bod. That's always a weird one. Just huge lats.
Yeah, but still like some body fat because you got to float.
Yeah, big time.
That's always interesting to me. Yeah, you hated the swimmers because they ate.
I liked the swimmers as people. They were nice guys.
Yeah.
Fun to hang out with. But I hated that they ate thousands and thousands of calories while I was like sniffing toast. You know what I mean?
Toast. It's gonna have a stroke. So
they're gonna have a stroke.
What?
They're gonna have a stroke.
God! This is the trajectory of Total Fitheads from here. That thermogenic thing is real too. Everyone talks about how much Michael Phelps eats, and not just the fact that he's doing insane workouts, but being in cold water, your body has to heat itself, and that takes energy.
I think being cold in general.
Yeah.
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 Well, that was the worst part. Again, I feel like I'm just whining and complaining, but when I would lose all my body weight, it was the middle of winter. You know? So then I'd have to walk from the bus to the gym or whatever through snow.
No fuel, let alone
and I'm like,
body
why
weight.
am I so cold? You know, I'm like, am I that like a much of a wuss? But it's like I turned myself into a wuss. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. Did you ever have problems with your hands going numb?
Yeah, I would like I couldn't unclench them, and then one time when I was a little kid and we'd go like hockey or ice skating or whatever, you know, you'd run your hands under hot water thinking that was good, and it really doesn't. It just burns them and makes them itch, and it's terrible. What you need is like I guess not room temperature, but normal temperature water.
Right. I thought about that too, just cold exposure for my hands to try and get rid of my Raynaud's. I don't know if it would make it worse though.
I don't know. I don't know about cold. I have a healthy. I don't agree with the cold existing. I think cold.
Because our BioLite guy was like, cold's stupid. Only put light on you.
But I feel like we've had a lot of guys a lot of guests who come on and say something pretty outlandish, and it's only a matter of time before we get another guest
that says
the exact opposite. And I was like, I listened to that interview that you had. I listened to that last interview with that moron.
Turns out you don't need sleep hygiene.
Yeah. What's the opposite of that? That's what you need.
Yeah.
Darkness. I'm like, okay, weird, but okay. I'll take it. I'll buy it.
Yeah. Well, okay, yeah. There's something about that cold exposure that just feels like it's the third pillar. We talk about nutrition and working out, and like in our society, we're missing not just cold exposure, but exposure to heat too. I feel like that's something really activates something in my body that's like live longer or be better at existing when you are now.
It might be a preference too. Like I really like doing those super hot hot yoga,
Oh my
hot
God, I
whatever,
would
cranking
rather-
this, like 4 sweatshirts in the gym or
I would rather cryotube that level of pain than go in a spa.
So
sauna,
maybe
sauna.
it's like a personal preference about what sort of hellish temperature
Well,
conditions.
that's also a sign. If it sucks more for you, you should. That's probably the one.
But I
that's
feel
really-
better after. Like it sucks. It does suck in that way. But
That's
after
it, the
I'm
reward.
like, ooh, I feel great now. Whereas after you went in the ice plunge, you were like, I hate myself.
That's fair. But that's because that one was so extreme. Normally, my ice plunge makes me. It feels like an antidepressant. It's
Really?
just like you like, hot, yeah.
So maybe
hot.
you went too cold.
Yeah,
like if I'm
sure.
sure if I went too hot, I'd just pass out and die, and then I probably wouldn't be too happy.
Well, I also feel like I don't get out of a sauna and feel better. I don't know. Maybe I need to do it more.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
build
do.
one.
I would.
Right here.
I love
Where do I
it.
put it?
Do you like the hot sauna or the wet sauna, the steam or the sauna?
I don't know. Which one's good?
Steam is so much better.
Really?
Well, alternating is the best.
Well, I'm already making steam on myself. Why would I want more
It helps you
moisture?
start sweating.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Because the air is already packed with water. No. Does that make sense? We're not sciencing well.
Let's get a chemist down here.
That's fine.
A biologist. A biographist. Yeah, I used to love at my old gym, there was a dry sauna and a steam room. And I loved them both.
Yeah,
but
how
that
do you-
steam room was great.
How do you decide, like, or does it matter?
Usually it's whatever has less naked old guys in it. That's what I would do. But you know,
less. Yeah. okay,
less.
Sure.
Yeah.
Whatever.
There was one, and they get so wild in there. I don't know if you've ever been in a male locker room before.
No, now I'm picturing a beer garden and they're all wearing lederhosen and
It's
drinking it or something.
just a bunch of old guys just being old guys and just, no towel, no nothing,
Cigar.
doing stretches. There's one time I walked in and there was like as you walk in, there's a couch on like normal couch level, and then there's a bench,
Sure,
normal
yeah,
bench, and then there's
yeah.
like a bench that you would step up to. And so I walked in, and one of the guys was on his back on the high level with his leg in the air,
Stadium
stretching
seating.
his hamstring. And as I turned, I looked directly into his butthole, and I'm like, oh, aha, And it's like steamy, so I'm like, where am I? What is it? Oh, okay, I got it, thanks. All right, hey Carl, how's it going? What's up, man? Prostate's looking great, it's so like, blah, But it's just an old guy thing, and I've told that story to like a lot of other my contemporary gym people, and they're like, oh yeah, the old guys, they don't care. It's just whatever. And I'm like, I don't know what it is. It's not geographic. It's not sport. It's not gym.
Yeah.
It doesn't only happen at Bay Club and not Gold's or whatever.
So is it you hit an age and then you just do not care?
It's either you hit that age or when they were born in that time.
Yeah, is that generation just fine with butthole showing?
Who knows? Maybe they just don't care, but they're flashing BHs.
That's honestly that level of not giving an F is really impressive. To truly be comfortable. Like, even when the doctor's, like, asking me anything about your bowel movements, I'm just like, oh yeah, so I've been super regular or whatever, and trying to be cool.
I know, to my doctor.
Yeah, and it's my doctor, and we're talking about crapping, which I still... And then I have to try and act casual, whereas these guys aren't trying. They are... Nothing's... It's just...
Yeah.
It's just water washing over them, completely unaffected by being nude.
It is wild.
Yeah. I want to get to that level of not giving an F.
Maybe.
Meanwhile, I read all my comments, caring about everything. One day.
Maybe it's an age. Maybe it's a.
I hope it's not
I hope it's an
generational.
age.
Yeah.
Because then we can only get towards that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I don't know. It's
something I aspire to be.
I don't know. The other thing that I always thought was weird, now that we're getting into locker room talk, is in your high school, do you have a girls' locker room?
Yeah.
Did you have showers?
We never showered after gym.
But did you have stalls?
No, it's just like a big open thing.
We
Same
had
thing
a
as
big
YMCA.
open thing.
Yeah.
And then the girls' locker room had stalls.
Huh.
Isn't that weird?
I guess so. You guys are allowed to look at each other and we're not.
Right? I mean, what is the reasoning?
Yeah, I have no idea.
High school girls are more insecure than high school guys? I can't imagine.
Maybe. Why would we support that?
I thought it was super weird.
Yeah, that they would actually change the architecture. They have this design, but let's make a different design.
Right. It was just weird that... Because I would have loved stalls. I mean, I didn't love... I mean, I got used to it. I didn't care. But as a insecure pre- and during pubescent puberty kid, stalls would have been great.
I wonder how common that is for it to be different. Because it was just open for my high school.
And the guys...
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Maybe the guys had stalls.
You never know.
I'm gonna go check.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. But also, we didn't shower after gym. Like, what was it? You run the mile, which is me walking it in 15 minutes, and then I'd go back to science.
Back to formula! We would have to shower because we would get so sweaty, and it was the winter.
For sports or whatever.
Well, but we did it in the fall, too. I don't know. I would shower. I would have to shower because I would get so sweaty. It would be drinking a lot of water. Not to brag. But I don't. Not everybody did. And then hockey and sports with pads, you kind of had to also because the pad really just kicks in.
My brother played hockey all of me growing up, and it's weird. The hockey bag smell is
so much worse than anything I've ever smelled.
Sure. Yes. Correct. But also the same across the board.
Yeah.
I would go to my brother's friend's place and he'd have a hockey bag and it's that hockey bag smell. I would be figure skating and go back into the locker rooms for whatever and there's that smell. How does every person make that same smell with the combination of their body and...
Plastic? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. And it's so distinct. You know it immediately
gross.
and then taken immediately back to the ice rink. It's bizarre. And it's not like anybody tries to do anything about it.
So what do they do with their pads after practice? They wash them?
Put it in a giant bag, which could fit me in it. It's a huge bag. And then they just put the bag in the garage. And then your garage smells like the ice rink now.
It smells so bad.
Yeah.
And then a pile of bags. And you're like, whoa! What, I would just get hit with something? What happened? That was the worst. Yeah. I mentioned hockey to someone out in LA. And they were shocked that I knew a hockey player.
You mean like an NHL?
No, that I knew someone who played hockey growing up. Or had ever participated in the sport of hockey.
Interesting.
I'm like, man, wait till you go to Massachusetts, go to Maine, go to, anywhere.
Yeah,
but then
I
at
was
the same
surrounded
time,
by it.
I was shocked that they knew a single water polo player.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
It's the weirdest thing I've ever conceived of, that someone would play water polo.
Do that.
What are you doing? It's insane.
That's common.
But now it's a regular high school sport out here.
Huh.
Weird.
Interesting. I have played hockey before. I did powder puff.
And?
In figure skates.
And, ooh.
I scored 2 of the 3 goals that my winning team got.
Damn.
One on a breakaway.
Whoa!
I know.
High school glory days.
Oh, man.
College? Out of college?
No.
Grad school?
Grad school powder puff. God, I would get crushed playing in the actual team. No. But it's just because that basically powder puff hockey is to watch girls who have never skated put on their boyfriend's full gear.
Right.
And just fall around on the ice. So obviously there are girls falling around me and then I go on a breakaway and score because
everyone's dying.
The goalie also fell.
I'm just like do.
Yeah. Well, there was a girl my age who played on the dudes team, so yeah, that was killer. She was also not allowed to play powder.
Of course, that's what I was gonna say.
She would just destroy it. She's playing against guys full contact.
Single-handedly,
Chrissy,
just
she was
everyone.
Killer. Love it. She was a figure skater with me too, and then went over to the dark side. I thought about it too. It looks so fun.
What's the difference between figure and ice skates?
The toe and heel.
I know, but how do you feel? I'm assuming you can do both.
Yeah,
easily?
I can. And I for sure had to do hockey skates when I was an NHL cheerleader, if all of you didn't already know that, because I probably try and bring it up as often as possible.
Almost as often as this powder puff hockey game?
Yeah. I'm surprised you've never heard that story from me. Anyway, so I grew up for 15 years never having worn hockey skates and had to learn them to do that for the NHL. And when you're used to having a toe pick and then the heel is extended longer too, you just have more room to lean forward and backward and obviously use your toe pick to do jumps and stuff. So when I'm on hockey skates, it feels like I'm just going to fall over my toes or hit this whole like fall backward thing because you think that you have more leverage than you do. More
heel.
Yeah, so you'll see that kind of like dancing thing where your feet, you do it and you catch yourself.
Yeah.
Doing too much of that. And even like
not ideal.
I'll go from one to the other. Maybe I'll go to a session and bring both of them. So I'll start with figure skates, and then you kind of have to relearn at the beginning of putting the hockey skates on.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, I actually did a video where I did a bunch of figure skating moves on hockey skates.
Now, unfortunately for you, I understand that you prefer wearing 2 different shoes at all times.
Oh, I've been wanting to do that. First of all,
please don't.
Skates are equipment.
You are allowed.
They're not shoes.
You're allowed to do that if you wear a helmet at all times.
Helmet. Okay, I'm in.
Full helmet with a face thing.
With a face thing.
Yeah, you put a face mask on that one, and then that's fine.
Allowed.
But otherwise,
you know where this is going, right? It's one figure skate, one hockey skate. Okay, great. Sorry.
Sounds horrifying.
I did have.
Sounds Saw.
I put one because it was for the pens. Their colors are black and gold. I put one gold lace in one and one white, and I definitely got yelled at very hard for that, and had to go back to looking like all the other girls.
What?
What? I mean, it's a uniform. It makes sense.
Oh.
And not really actually yelled
by
at.
Your boss, not by the fans.
Oh, no. My coach was like,
how dare you!
You're only doing that for practice, right? It wasn't actually yelling at me, and I was like, yes, of course.
Yes, sir, of course, sir. Joke's on you, I'm wearing 2 different socks.
That.
You'll never know. On the outside of my shin guard.
Alright, so where are you going from here for your physique?
Physique, I've completed 1 week of a pure, pretty classic bodybuilding split that I had just made up in my head 5 days ago. Mm-hmm. And if I complete today, I will be 1 full round in.
Sweet. To your own program.
To my own program that I made up that I'm not really sure is good. But we'll see.
How is it split up? Upper, lower, arms,
no,
butt, arms,
chest,
butt. Okay.
Push, general sort of push-ish, pull-ish.
Okay.
Leg-ish. Meaning,
there's abs in there the whole time.
I have a leg press machine. So here's the things here's what I don't know where to.
I'm coming over.
2 things I don't know where to put. 1, I don't do any anything.
Of course not.
And 2, I don't really know where to put a deadlift.
Oh, okay. We can talk about that.
So it's push, sort of, pull, sort of, leg, sort of, and then it's like sort of an arm-ish because everything feels pretty tired at that point. And then start over.
So you have an arm at the end of leg.
So arm is like it's another day.
Right. Sorry. Yeah. Arm then leg.
Day. And the arm day is like curls but stand on 1 leg, or shoulder press but stand on 1 foot, or like a lunge curl, or it's like a lot of it's balance stuff because I have terrible balance.
Coming soon, I teach you how to ride a bike.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that. Maybe a trike.
He falls off a trike.
And then at the end, I do a little 7 or 8 minute mini hit to bed or something.
Okay. That's on arm day, or?
That's an every day.
Okay.
Just to get a little bit of a sweat because I crank the heat up in the thing to 90 and it feels so good.
Weird.
So good. So I'm like, I'm about to start sweating. I might as well crank out a little sweat.
With you?
No.
You just do whatever you want in that gym. Oh, that's so cool.
So weird.
All right. Do you have a way to actually deadlift?
We have a Smith machine, but we don't have plates yet, which is really annoying.
Odd.
But eventually we'll get them.
Do you get
we have
somebody
dumbbells
that weighs as much as Brittany to come over? Oh, right. Me and Brittany on the opposite.
On each arm. Like when I squatted at
Yeah. Where were we? Speakeasy Gym.
Speakeasy Gym. I really didn't think I would be able to do that.
I can't believe
that was crazy.
I didn't know you were going to. I thought we were just posing, and then you unracked us.
I thought we were too, and then I was like, it's just them.
It's just them.
Couldn't hurt me.
My personality isn't heavy enough. Couldn't hurt me. Yeah, right. You didn't even give us a warning.
We got good balance. I'm sure they'll be able to figure it out.
I mean, we did. Through the laughing, which, yeah. Okay. So, fine. You should deadlift on... I would say do RDLs instead of full-on ankle-moving deadlifts for the Smith machine.
So what I've been doing is... the other problem is we only have dumbbells up to 50. You know. So I've been doing RDL 50-pounders. Which is nice, too, because I like being able to sort of have some wrist mobility there.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's not that good. And so, yeah, anyway, that's on... What do I do those on? Maybe leg, because it's the shortest one.
The RDL? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You could also split it up so you can look at deadlift as a pull thing?
Yeah.
As opposed to a leg thing? Okay. So then...
But back day is pretty long. There's a lot of... I have a ton of... It's like... regular pull, regular row, neutral pull, neutral roll.
Yeah,
you know, sort of supinated, sort of as much as I can.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wow, then maybe I can do some but it's already 6 things.
Yeah. So then leave it so you're squatting and deadlifting on the same day. I mean, whatever.
Nuts.
You're only doing it once a week though, so wreck yourself. Why not?
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, but it's a 4-day thing.
Yeah. Well, you don't rest 2 days a week? Oh, wait.
No, I just start
3
over.
days a week, yeah. Oh, okay.
So what I do is I'll have a day where I do a lot of those hit ones or whatever, something sweaty, something to get me. That's sort of in my brain.
Conditioning day, yeah.
Conditioning day, sweaty day.
You should also take a day off and maybe just walk.
Well, I walk the dog all the time. So
okay.
He's always getting walked.
Not that you should walk more, but that you should have a day off where your only activity is walking, is what I meant.
Yeah.
Okay, take it from me, who was overtrained and only gained fat somehow while working her butt off. Should definitely not break down your muscle.
Butt on. Wait, that doesn't make sense.
I'm trying to work my butt on. It's good, actually. It's really good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, next steps for me. I told you I already started. Oh my God, 2 workouts now. I have had a gainer shake before working out.
And how many times did you throw up?
None, but my blood glucose went crazy.
Oh my God, I bet.
But it also feels like I'm using it, so I'm not mad at it.
Mm.
It's like in the middle of needing energy, my energy is up here. So fine. I'm gonna...
That is the one interesting thing about eating before you work out or the night before or whatever. It's like you can actually feel the energy.
Yeah. But I am so...
Oh my God, I am processing this.
I feel like I was so adapted to working out fasted because it's been years since I've ever eaten before a workout or even thought about it. During the workout, my heart was racing. Like, I was... You know that feeling when you're sobering up and your body's like...
Oh, I hate that. You get
it's
the
like
shakes.
That, but with just from having... Well, a gainer shake is like a whole lot of really fast-acting carbs. So basically a bunch of sugars. And I felt like a weird sugar jitters.
Weird.
Because I'm not used to it.
Weird.
Yeah, and certainly my heart rate jumped way higher on my lifts. So is that good? Am I going to live shorter because of it? Potentially. Will I look closer to Stanimal because of it? Probably.
Which is the goal.
Yeah. Just trying to get...
AS.
God,
Approaching Stanimal.
Approaching Stanimal. That's my documentary. Were we talking about him on camera? No, I don't think we did yet. We just... we start every reading...
With a prayer.
Every
Our
time
Lord and Savior, Stanimal.
Instead of saying hi, we just immediately jump into talking about what Stanimal has posted lately.
And how good he looks. Because it's always better than... Somehow it's better than the one he just posted.
Yeah. Well, he's 2 weeks out from a competition. He was our first episode, by the way, if we don't know who we're talking about. He is a bodybuilder. But, most recently, that video I sent you of him posing, his thighs are definitely more circumference than all of me.
Mm-hmm.
One
you
thigh.
lying down.
Yeah. Yeah, lying down.
He is
It's crazy.
mesmerizing.
Yeah. So, I guess...
And that was also very nice of you to send me that video so I could see it for the 5th time.
That happens often where either of us will be like, hey, look at this, and we've already seen it, of course.
Yeah. That one I sent you of comedy.
Oh, yeah.
Holy moly.
The one...
Whatever, it was fitness comedy, I don't remember the guy's name.
Yeah. It wasn't really...
It was the worst thing I've ever seen.
I think we've talked about this. We should do an episode where we just go over the worst.
Fitness comedy?
Yeah.
Yes, that's absolutely true.
Let us know if you want to see that. And I guess we'll do another physique update in 3 months when I look like Stanimal.
Nice. Well, that's a nice little... It's nice to have goals. Write it down.
Write it down. Look like Stanimal.
Currently at 0.0001 Stanimal.
What percentage to Stanimal are you?
Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, rate us 5 stars, write us a written review. It helps us out a lot. Also, go to your mom's phone,
Yes.
find us on Apple Podcast on her phone, and hit subscribe, and then send us a video, because that would be hilarious. She's like, who are these people? And you're like, shut up.
Don't tell your mom to shut up.
Yeah.